welcome back. Now, South Africa is infamous for its slow pace of structural reforms, but ratings agency Moody's notes that slow but steady structural reforms are starting to stabilize parts of our local economy. Chief among them, Eskom. They have managed to find some light at the end of the tunnel, but we're not out of the woods just yet. Energy and infrastructure financing remains a critical challenge. South Africa's Minister of Electricity and Energy, Kgosientsho Ramokgopa, joins us now from Davos to discuss how he'll be leveraging the country's energy reforms at the World Economic Forum. Minister, hi, good to have you with us on Business Lunch. Welcome to the show. You look like you're ready for business. You've got your scarf on. You're ready for Team SA. What have you been saying to your counterparts so far? Because there are concerns about South Africa and energy. What's been the discussions so far?
Well, thank you very much, Ray, and greetings to the viewers at home. I mean, when we were here in 2023, we're in the middle of load shedding. I mean, we're experiencing the most intense period of load shedding, and we're communicating with investors and financiers that we're doing everything possible to ensure that we restore the energy supply and we are able to ensure that the security of supply over a period of time that indeed we believe we are on course to achieve that. Come 2024, the message was different. The message was that the promise we had made the previous year, we have delivered on it on the back of the Energy Action Plan as announced by President Ramaphosa. And now 2025 is a different message. We say that there's excess generation. We are ready to do business with the rest of the world. Come and invest in the country. We've got stable and reliable electricity supply. Of course, we are now working very hard to address the cost of electricity. We are working with all the sectors, in particular the smelters, met with the global leaders of some of the smelters that are active in the country to bring build that assurance. And of course, we are beginning to engage with other potential investors, especially our big data centers, people who are in the AI. The defining consideration for them to invest in any jurisdiction is the availability and reliability of supply. And that's the message you are conveying here, Ray.
Yeah, the reliability of supply. I just want to get to those smelters. Are we close to finding an overall agreement? We've been worried about what's been happening in the south of Joburg. We also saw in Mosul, in Mozambique. Are we close to getting agreement? Because every time one of these closes down, it's jobs being lost, it's our GDP under threat.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we can ill afford losing jobs. Just losing one is one too many. I have been leading those discussions, and I must say that we have been successful in bringing under the same roof capital, or if you like, the business owners. We've been able to bring the unions, and of course, Eskom around the same table to say this is about South Africa's interest. Of course, we need to balance the interest of Eskom and ensuring that it continues to be a going concern, but also not to socialize, if you like, the support or the subsidy that we are giving to these smelters, because it amounts to that we are going to sell electricity to them or make it available to them at a cost that really is not cost reflective. So that someone needs to carry that can, and our view is that it can be the South African consumer. So we have been able to find what I refer to as an innovative bespoke solution, using some of their stranded assets to ensure that we bring down the cost of primary energy, because the significant driver of the tariff is the cost of primary energy, essentially the cost of coal. And as we know, some of them are sitting with large deposits of coal that has been mined, it's stranded, they can't sell it to the international community because some of it doesn't meet the technical requirements of the export requirement, but it does meet the requirements of the design of our turbines. So we are concluding that discussion. We have set ourselves that by end of February, we should be able to announce. I must say that we're making good progress, but I think it's only after we have firmed up that, announced it, signed it, that we can say to the South African people we have found an answer. What is significant about this is that we are now designing a template on how we can make interventions in other sectors of the economy that are energy intense. So we are moving in the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to have that because come end of Feb, we'll have some answers. Minister, I want to go to what's happening at Davos. Now, looking at the just energy transition, we've got that money that was allocated to us by Western powers. I know the United States pulled out, but we still got about 19 billion there. Are we going to be using those funds? I mean, are those conditions right to borrow that money, or do we need to look elsewhere?
No, first, I think is to acknowledge the fact that the major Western powers have been able to put together a financing instrument to support our transition, the capital requirements that will underpin some of the projects that are required for the just energy transition. So that acknowledgement we have to make. I think it was to the total value of that facility was about 12.8 billion US dollars. Of course, the US has pulled out of that. I think that amounts to about 1.5 billion or so US dollars that has left as a result of the United States retreating from many of these agreements and conventions. The issue really is not about whether the US is in or not. The issue has been in the details and the terms of the facility itself. So I must say, on the one part, the ones that has to do with the grants being made available for policy formulation to empower local authorities, especially in the Mpumalanga area, to adapt and respond to the climate change requirements and what the policies that needs to be put in place, that has been made available. Right. But I must say that that constitutes a drop in the ocean. It's just a small fraction of the total amount. The total amount is really meant to support real, tangible capital projects. So the answer that we need to, the question that we need to answer ourselves is, in the terms of that facility, how much is concessional? I did say there's a bit of it that is grant, and what is the cost of the remainder? And you need to juxtapose that cost against us raising the money in the debt capital market. If we are able to get cheaper money in the debt capital market, and we have found that in many instances we can raise cheaper money in the debt capital markets. But we continue to engage, Ray. I think it's important that we are able to utilize this facility. I lead the interministerial committee on the JET IP implementation plan. We'll continue to engage with them. They do
and keep talking.
Right, but that will not stifle our build program. We have seen that we're doing tremendous work on the transmission line. The market has come to the party. It was oversubscribed. We'll announce the preferred bidder. So we're moving. We have not stalled. Absolutely.
Minister, if I can come in here, because I'm pushed for a little bit of time. I want to Team South Africa. It was all about climate change, but now it's also surviving as well and getting your systems in gear. For Team South Africa, what are your main goals for Davos 2026?
Well, is that as a country we have turned the corner. We have been removed from the grey listing. So you have seen that the rating agencies have got a positive outlook. We're getting right the energy space. So we can say with confidence that we're defeating load shedding. Minister Chris is making tremendous strides in regaining the efficiencies on the logistics side. So we're beginning to see this green shoot. So we are saying to the rest of the world, I mean, capital is here, the major global players are here. There's no better place to engage with the world than at Davos. I mean, the number of global CEOs that are invested in South Africa, that have got ambitions of investing in South Africa are here. We have had over 14 meetings with individual meetings with some of these big hitters, and the message is consistent. South Africa is a place to invest in, and also the exploitation of our mineral endowments, beneficiation at source. They invested in ensuring that they're able to utilize these beneficiated minerals for purposes of decarbonization. South Africa is a place to be. We give all the assurances, the rule of law, the judiciary, a more matured banking system. I don't think that we can ask for more than what we are offering, but we'll continue to do our best for the interest of the country.
Yeah, and of course our lights remain on, which I think has to be noted, that we've had electricity for a very, very long time, which makes you breathe a lot easier.
That's right, absolutely. Thanks. And we intend to keep it that way. We want to remove it as a conversation. We want to then have a new conversation on the cost of that electricity. And we can have that whilst the lights are on, industry is performing, and people are into jobs.
Fantastic. Minister, thank you so much for joining us on Business Day TV. We do appreciate you taking the time, and keep warm, most importantly. Thank you so much. That was South Africa's Electricity Minister, Kgosientsho Ramokgopa, live from Davos in Switzerland.